Okay guys, home race and a big crowd of expectant Americans wanting to really see you guys do well. Now I'd say don't let them down, but let's go with don't let them down too badly. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Kicking Haas. Today we have our final home race in Austin. It is the Circuit of the Americas American Grand Prix, and well, let's really hope we can put on a little bit of a show for the home fans. We are currently sitting 4th. We will in all likelihood finish 4th in the constructors. Sargeant though is currently 5th in the drivers. Now he could go up arguably as high as 3rd. He could also drop down to 6th if he's not careful, so he needs to have a good race today. And the good news coming into it is that we do have our final upgrade of the series. In all honesty, I don't think we're going to have time to do anything else, and that is a new underfloor. So if we go and have a look at what this underfloor will do, we'll go to show rank on the grid, and we can see it will help top speed, acceleration, low speed, and high speed cornering in dirty air. It'll help quite a bit. So it's not the revolutionary upgrade I was perhaps hoping it would be, but it does move us forward, which is, I guess, the main thing. But yeah, I don't think we're going to have time to get anything else researched, developed, and manufactured to put on the car in time before the end of the season, unfortunately. So we do have some driver development points. Crawford has 1, which we will go and put into braking, and he becomes a 70 rated driver. Almost makes him Formula 2 quality, that doesn't it? So well done to you, Jack. And Kalen Frederick has 1 as well. I mean, I think we could have development points till he's 60, and he would still barely make it to Formula 1 quality. We don't have anything else to catch you up on. There's no staff upgrades at all. The pit crew, we had a look at that for a while. Front and rear jacks is getting better. Yeah, so, I mean, it just kind of is what it is. This apparently has been fixed for the new one. Not fixed, but updated maybe is the right term for the new one when it comes out. So that'll be exciting to see. You know, hopefully it'll be a little bit easier maybe to know exactly. Oh, it's going to rain. It's going to rain on Sunday, and I just wanted a nice relaxing Grand Prix. All right, so let's have a look here. We've got Kevin Magnussen holds the lap record. That would have been last season, wouldn't it? So well done to UK Mag. For qualifying purposes, red sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow sector 3, when I'm going on about sector times. It has a little bit of everything, doesn't it? Fast corners, long straights, slow corners. It's a really good track, actually, Circuit of the Americas. It's very underrated, I think. Car attributes, low and high speed cornering is what we want, and that's more or less what we have with that new upgrade as well. Safety car, we're at 50% chance, and it saves you about 6 or so seconds in the stop. Expected strategies, it eats tires, this place, it really does. So we're looking on that. So I need to save an extra set of medium tires, because if the soft can go 7 laps, that is not much use to us, is it? So note to self, save a set of mediums. And so we can see there the soft tire is about 0.8 of a second faster than the hard, but look at that drop off, almost 1/4 of a second a lap. It's not worth it, is it? It just isn't going to get you very far. Last season, Sargeant was 11th, and K-Mag had a bit of a disaster, it looks like, in 15th, so we don't want a repeat of that. Historically, we've never won here anyway, so let's hope that we can maybe, I don't think we're going to win, but let's hope we can maybe do a little bit better than we have done previously. Performance targets reach Q3. That means we're going to do these other 2 as well then, if that's the target. Fastest lap, I never like to push for it. Someone in the top 8, I'd like to think so, Logan. And let's go with a qualifying position of 1 car in the top 10 twice. Surely we can do that here in Mexico. Alright, so that is that. Let's go and see exactly how bad this rain's going to be race day. And it's light rain, so that, oh, light rain here as well. So that is going to be intermediates, isn't it? Intermediates to dries. So maybe, do I need to save 2 sets of mediums if it's going to rain? I probably do, don't I, in case we have to go medium, wet, medium, or something like that. So, yeah, we'll burn up the softs, I think, in free practice. We'll just save enough to make sure we have some for qualifying. And, yeah, I will see you for that momentarily. Okay, we have done free practice with mixed results, I would say. Now, FP1 was interrupted by rain. We managed to do a soft tyre run, so 7th and 8th there. It's maybe a little bit misleading because it was just a bit of a jumbled up session. FP2, now, it's not great, but I do think Sargeant's car, these parts are quite worn at this point. Crawford has newer parts, haven't taken more penalties, so he's ahead, but I don't think that's necessarily representative. And then FP3, if we go down again, we're down towards the bottom, but older parts, I think, particularly Sargeant, will be okay. Crawford is maybe a slight concern. Now, if we look here, we can see we've got nailed the setup on Crawford. Sargeant is having a very tough time of things, so I'm hoping we're going to be okay here in Q1, but we might be back sooner than I hope. Okay, so we are back. We are back with Crawford, who is currently 14th and in by about a tenth of a second. So he has to go again. Sargeant is up there in 5th. He's absolutely fine. No worries there at all. And only 3/10 off the Red Bull as well, which is nice to see. But Crawford is going to have to go faster here, I would have thought anyway. We've got some green sectors behind him. Norris and Ricardo's up in 9th. So you'd imagine Norris can go faster. Guanyu Zhou is up in 4th. So you'd imagine that Giovinazzi can go faster. And then the 2 Alfa Romeos are going faster as well. But crucially, so is Crawford. Mick Schumacher won't be going any faster. Tsunoda in front. So Norris is still behind him. So that's positive. Tsunoda is not that much quicker. Let's see what Crawford does for a second sector time. He's done his best. But it's the Alfa Romeos, isn't it? Magnussen we know is quick. Is he going to go ahead? The 2 Alphas are in front of us, so it's any second now they're going to cross the line, and we are out. Can we get back in with Crawford? No, he's out. So massive disappointment in his home Grand Prix. Now we do have, of course, that engine. We can stick that in the car now and have a brand new engine to get to the end of the year. So that's not a utter disaster in that sense, but yeah, I thought he should do a little bit better than that, if I'm honest. But we'll go over to becoming Team Sargeant and see what he can do. Alright, here we go with Logan Sargeant. Now we made a mistake on his lap. He went a little bit wide in a corner, so he's about 2 seconds off, but that was on used tyres, so it's not a complete disaster. He's got his new tyres on now, and I would hope and expect him to get himself up inside this top 10. He's done a green first sector, but there's a lot of green up on that tower, isn't there? And checkered flag is out, but that's fine. That's what happens when time runs out. Now we are a little ways off the back. You can see the car in front has just gone off the straight. Now there's a crash. Now this could be very, very big trouble. Looks like it's all green again because everybody's going. Mercedes, yeah, is the one that's crashed. So as long as he doesn't get in our way, old George Russell, we should be okay. It still says yellow flag though, so I don't quite understand why, because the car's moving. And Gasly has spun now as well. But he should be out of our way. Are we doing enough? We're currently 15th. Sargeant, he goes 5th. Nice one, Logan. So, dodging yellow flags like he's in the Matrix. A second off the pace of Verstappen is not great. But we're only a little bit off of Sainz up there in 4th and Bottas. Now, the Mercedes must have bought an upgrade because they were quite poor and they're right back up there again now, aren't they? So it's just really Verstappen that's in a class of his own. We're not too far off everybody else. Alright, here we go. Now we're currently 8th. That was on used tyres. Then, of course, it's about a quarter of a second a lap that is lost in tyre life. So, yeah, there's nothing too much to worry about, I don't think, on that sense. We should have about half a second faster just on tyres alone. And that'll move us up sort of maybe in between the 2 Ferraris. Let's have a look at what everybody else is doing here. We're going green. There's not much else in terms of green up there, though. And one thing we have also done is we've saved a set of medium tyres for the race. We've also saved now a set of softs as well. So if we do get a late race safety car sort of situation, we're going to have very fresh soft tyres to go. And hopefully we'll get away with it, especially with Sargeant here, and find ourselves moving up the grid. Nobody else has really gone faster. Sargeant's done 2 green sectors. He should move up just on the fact he's got fresh tyres, but how far will he move up? Logan Sargeant goes 4th, second row of the grid for Logan. Very, very nicely done indeed, and that's excellent, isn't it? Really, really pleased with that. That is about as good as I think we could have. We could maybe have just snuck in front of Sainz, but we'll try and get him in the race, and yeah, that is good news. Now, of course, a reminder that we are expecting rain. Now, one thing I want to do first here is go and take the penalties for this engine because it's not doing us any good just sitting there, and he's starting more or less at the back anyway. So that is that. Now, let's have a look at strategy options. The rain is coming a little bit later on. Now, we wouldn't want to start on a soft tyre anyway. Does a hard tyre get us to the rain? Well, let's have a look, I suppose, is the easiest way to do that, isn't it? Does a hard tyre get us there? Is it going to be very, very marginal? It is going to be very marginal, but equally... no, not that one. Equally, I think it saves us a pit stop. So I think we probably do want to do that, don't we? Given that it's light rain that's expected, I would have thought an Inter would be what we're looking for to take us here. And then maybe it's going to be a good thing we have these softs, because it could be right at the end. that we are going to want to put a soft tyre on. Now, the Inter is only just going to get there as well. It's going to be a very much tyre conservation race, this one, isn't it? Now, the other option we could have, of course, is go absolutely balls to the wall on Inters and really push, and then come in and put a soft tyre on right at the end. No, not that one. This one. Let me have a play around with this. Alright, so this is what it would... This would be a very, very aggressive race strategy. If we conserve a hard tyre, try and get to the rain. Now, we're putting a lot of faith in the fact that this is when the rain is going to get here. Then we can go and push 2 on the Inters. Really push. We could maybe push even harder than that. Arguably, we could push a little bit harder than that. What am I doing here? This one. No, not even doing it that right. And then go onto a soft tyre, potentially right at the end, when it's going to be getting dry. That's aggressive, but I think it might be... Otherwise, we're conserving tyres, which I think we want to do here because it's so close. But I don't see a point in... We'll go with this. We'll go with this with both cars, and we'll just kind of... Obviously, we'll have to sort of see how the race is playing out. But I think that is maybe the best way to go about things. The other option would be something like this. Now, that looks a little silly, doesn't it? It is making an extra stop, but it's quite racy as well, being on sort of the quicker tyres at the start. So I wonder if with Crawford, if we sort of try and make race positions, he'll come in, he'll stop, he should in theory have free air, but then he's just going to kind of race to the rain anyway and catch up to the back of them. Is he going to actually be any better off? Probably not, really, is he? It's probably better to do what we did with Sargeant. All right, welcome back. I'm seeing a lot of medium and soft tyres there, so that is going to be an extra stop, isn't it? Now the stops were about, was it 30 odd seconds? What am I doing there? I fit that. Okay, hang on, we'll get there eventually. It was 30 odd seconds for a stop. Was it 25? I think, which is not 30. I mean, 5 seconds is a lot, isn't it? So we've dropped a place off the line with Sargeant, but that is probably to be expected given that we're starting on a hard tyre. Now, we've seen in races like this before, I mean, Perez's tyres already knackered. Some of these soft tyres, they're barely going to go 5 laps. So, yeah, I think it looks to me like what they're doing, particularly the guys that are starting on soft, is that strategy I was thinking of doing with Crawford. But that is, in all likelihood, going to lead to quite a number of stops, particularly if you think you're going to have to then stop at the end to put on some soft tyres, I would have thought. If we can go with, and we are losing out a little bit here, we can see already Crawford is last as well. He's not made up any ground. But yeah, if we can try and stay with these leaders on the hard tyre, we're going to save 20 seconds. We can, in theory, say we're 20 seconds up the road. Now, they're going to be quicker, obviously. So they're going to make some of that back just on the fact that they're going to have faster tyres. But are they going to make enough back to actually make up for the stop? I mean, we're going to find out. That's what's going to make this an interesting race. But I'm already fascinated to see how this plays out. I just really, really hope, just for my own curiosity to see if I've done a good strategy or not, I just really hope that our guys stay on the road. As we've got a yellow flag, and it's Williams, it looks like, that's dropping off the back there. So I suspect Stroll.
DRS is enabled.
I've been playing this game for too long already. Alright, we'll see how long these tyres last, but DRS is available. And hopefully that's going to keep us up with this lead group. Alright, now, Sargeant is a little bit of a stick in the bottle here, but Perez, we're actually caught back up to those Ferraris quite quickly, so I wonder if they've made a mistake or if they're battling. Their tyre life is going off a cliff as well. This is going to come back to us as the soft tyres drop off, and that looks as though it's already the case, because even just since I made the decision to come back here and came back, basically, we've caught a lot up on those Ferraris there. Guan Yu Zhou is past one, and we'll probably go past the second one here as we get past Carlos Sainz. So they are already struggling massively on those tyres. You can see Crawford is just massively dropping off the back here. And I do wonder, as the pit stops start, so the soft tyres are already gone. Sainz and, well, no, Leclerc's on a medium, but Sainz will have to come in this lap. And, I mean, Crawford is ahead. Crawford is ahead of these guys. And, you know, he was... Oh, and Crawford's now spun. Oh, Jack. I just wanted you to try and stay on the track for me, mates. And that's his race done, essentially, isn't it? So we'll just ignore him from now on. That's just, I think, the default. He's just lit up the rears. I can already see what's happened. He's come out of there and just lit them up. Oh, actually, no. He clipped the curb on the middle, but look. Love it. Alright, so we are having some medium tyre runners start to come in now. Sargeant, I mean, he's not pushing a hard tyre. We would expect him to be slow, but as Leclerc comes in, he's right there, isn't he? He is right there. Now, Verstappen behind, the Red Bulls are catching us, so as we go in front. But, I mean, the Red Bulls aren't really our race, I don't think, necessarily. If we can go with them, that would be nice, but I don't expect that to be the case, and Verstappen is on a medium. But we've given ourselves a nice gap. They are, what's the lap times are we looking at here? 140s compared to 138, so we're 2 seconds a lap slower. So maybe it's not going to quite work out as I had hoped, this strategy, but it's given us, it's given us a decent chance, I would say. Let's try and maybe not lift and coast as much, try and get back a little bit of lap time that way. Yeah. Well, we'll see, won't we? We will see exactly how it does play out, but 2 seconds a lap, obviously, what, 10, 12, 11, 12 laps, you've made a pit stop back anyway, so yeah, maybe it's a little bit too cautious, but we'll see. Maybe if everybody else tries to eke out the inters when the rain does eventually get here, then maybe we can make some back that way, but I mean, it's too late now. We're sort of committed to it, aren't we? So there's no point jumping ship now and trying to hit and put on a soft tyre or anything like that, because we don't know exactly when the rain's going to get here. We're expecting it soonish, but we're not expecting it yet. Okay, now we have just had the rain begin, so we're going to jump straight on in for the inters. We're not going to waste any time on this, and we'll see if that helps us. Hopefully it will do. There's enough space between the two drivers, not have to worry about it. So we're currently 4th. We're going to come in. The rain is, hopefully when we come out of the pits, it's going to be into weather. And that will serve us very, it is, the track has just gone damp. So jumping early has helped us if we can get a nice quick pit stop now as well. And on the right tyre and everybody else is on the wrong tyre, this is hopefully going to help us massively. And we know that we can push. There's a big part of me that thinks, are we better off trying to do this? But we couldn't really be done, could it? So let's go deploy as well. Let's try and make up as much positions here as we can whilst the going is good. Look at the go down the inside. One of my great hopes for the new game is that, you know, when there's a tyre differential like this, that things just happen a little bit quicker, perhaps. Excuse me. But we can see exactly how much quicker we are here. You can go and deploy as well. And, yeah, I mean, we should be able to drive around them fairly comfortably. But perhaps equally, it's a situation where you've got to be a little bit careful going past them as well. But this is costing us so much time now. You've just got to get it done, Logan. There you go. And have we made up enough to get ahead of the Red Bull? I would suspect not, no. But we are 3rd. And we are going to be pushing until the end at this point. And where's Crawford come out? Hopefully he's just brought himself back into contention for the race. You know, he's not a long last anymore. That'd be a nice thing. So he's gone to 16th, which is better than he was. So we'll take that with Crawford. And yeah, now we push in the wet and hope we don't crash. Oh, wait a second. We've got Leclerc still on a medium tyre here. So if we can go and get that move done, please, Logan. We are actually going to be in 2nd place here as we sweep around the outside. So why didn't Leclerc come in? So the Red Bulls missed at the first lap. Didn't want to double stack. So Verstappen's come in and then Leclerc's come in. He's done basically 2 laps in inter conditions on a slick tyre. So that is going to destroy him. He might even be behind Crawford, you know. He is behind Crawford, I think. No, he's... just... Oh, no, he's 8 seconds in front. Not just in front, but... wow, that's ruined Leclerc's race, hasn't it? But second for Sargeant, about a second ahead of George Russell. And 3 seconds a lap slow. Although he was stuck behind Leclerc, wasn't he? So that probably explains some of that. Let's get an idea of exactly what his lap times are as K-Mag locks up. Hopefully we're not too far off the pace of George Russell. I'd like to think we're a similar pace. Verstappen did a 142, so we're actually the fastest car on track. We are pushing, but we are the fastest car on track. Alright, so Crawford is coming in for his second stop. Crawford's going to get lapped at this rate, if he's not already. And then Sargeant will come in next lap, which is fine. That's all sort of, that's as planned. I think, where are we here? Yeah, so you can see we are losing out a little bit, which is slightly concerning, to be honest. The fact that we're pushing and we're going to come in and make an extra stop, it looks like, and we're holding up Mercedes and Ferraris. Not great, but if we look at lap times, we've missed it now, but 144 I think we can say we're doing, which is fairly consistent with the rest of the field. But we're going to have a fresh tyre. So is that going to make a big difference for us? Hopefully. Because Verstappen was doing 143s. We were doing 142s, I think, when we first came out, weren't we? So we've come out in 11th. And we have a fresh set of tyres. So just needs to get us to the end of the rain now. And let's see exactly how much quicker we are than these cars in front. It's Ocon and Vettel. Now, they are the two that are just inside the points. Let's try and get some overtakes done. No DRS, of course, in the wet. So we don't have that to rely on. But, yeah, we need to try and get some overtakes done here. And I'm just a little concerned we don't quite have the car pace in these conditions, which might be down to Sargeant as much as the car, to be honest. Alright, so we are just stuck in this little battle here between Norris, Vettel, and Ocon. Now, Bottas has just come in the pits. So that's interesting. Maybe everybody is going to be two-stopping. On the Inter, I should say. And can we get a move done up the inside here? We cannot. Where do we come out in relation to Bottas is the big question. We are still ahead of him. So that is good. So I wonder if we might actually come out of this okay. What we're not doing is, yeah, we're really, really stuck here right now behind these guys. And look, coming out of this corner, we seem really, really slow. Let's try deploy instead of overtake and see if that makes any sort of difference as Crawford gets a move done on Stroll for 18th, 17th and 18th. Yeah, we don't have the pace down this long straight to get anything done, which makes it very difficult for us to then overtake, even though we do have a tyre advantage. I think what we might need to do, if I'm honest, is harvest the battery, and then we might need to do some deploy laps and just try and overtake in maybe weird places, just using a bit of extra speed. But we can't wait this too long because we're losing a lot of time behind these guys, I suspect. All right, the time has come. We have to go. We've got Bottas right behind us now. We're losing like 2 seconds a lap, so we're really pushing. We're using deploy as well. We're just gonna drain the battery. We've got to get these overtakes done. We're losing too much time. I think if we get ahead of them, we'll drive off into the distance. Tyres are overheating, so we'll just maybe back that off then a little bit. I'm not actually sure if that makes much of a difference. Can we get something up the inside there? If we can get up... Oh, there goes Vettel into the pit. So that's worked out beautifully. And up to 7th. We're doing quite a bit quicker than the cars in front. And hopefully now we can drive off a little bit. You can see they're all really, really struggling. And that's only going to get worse for them too. Bottas is the only other car, well, Vettel now as well, that are coming to the pits. So yeah, Crawford, I mean, he's doing okay. He's doing decent lap times. He's got Perez in front of him. How's Perez? He must have screwed up on the wet tyre stop as well. It'd be a very Ferrari thing to do, wouldn't it? So what sort of gap do we have behind us here? Yeah, so we've got a nice little gap there. As I suspected, we are driving off into the distance with our fresher tyres. And, yeah, now we need to try Gasly's coming in. It's too late to come in for new Inters, guys. You're going to have to come in for soft tyres soon. So, what's the gap to Vettel? Gap to leader, 40-odd seconds. No, so we're not going to win the race. And we're going to have to really close down... Oh, no, we're 17 seconds behind Russell. So that's our goal. I think our goal right now, we're doing 40.8s compared to 43s. Yeah, this is potentially looking very decent for us. I mean, even Crawford. Could Crawford drive himself back? No, he's too far back, isn't he? I won't finish that thought. Clearly, I've gone crazy. Okay, so the rain has now stopped. We're about to get past Guan Yu Zhou. And that'll move us up into 4th. And now it all comes about trying to pick the exact moment that we want to come in, put on these soft tyres, and go to the end. Because we do definitely want to do that. I'm almost 100% confident we will end up faster by doing it. So, yeah, we're 2 seconds a lap faster right now. What sort of tyre life are these guys looking at? Yeah, see, they're absolutely desperate. So they're going to have to stop again anyway. We're 10 seconds behind Sainz, but at our current rate, we would catch him before the end of the race anyway. I think maybe one more lap, and we're going to want to do this. Would be my guess. And of course, we will be able to push very hard to the end. I'm just watching this. It's not really coming down quick enough, is it? Certainly not for Crawford, who's just gone past the pit lane to come in this lap. So we need to ignore it. It's going to be, we're going to have to call it sort of at the time, aren't we? Oh, it's going to be so touch and go for Sargeant on this lap. And if he doesn't come in this lap, then you have to start and think, well, are we actually better off just trying to get to the end? It's not going to work this lap. It's going to have to be next lap. So I think Crawford could probably come in this lap. And Crawford really does have nothing to lose, given where he is. So I think that's all fine. He can come in when he gets there. As Ocon has come in, I think it's still going to be worth it, if I'm honest.
That would be 5 laps.
I do think it is still going to be worth it. But we're so much faster than everybody anyway. There is a big part of me that thinks maybe we don't. A very big part of me that thinks maybe we don't.
We think that
but the track is now dry. And we know that Sargeant, he doesn't do well if he's on the wrong tyre for the conditions. So I think we definitely need to do it. Crawford's coming in 2.4 second stop. The Haas boys are finding form late in the season, aren't they? So let's now go and see what he can do. I mean, you can absolutely push if you want, mate. You can deploy as well. See if you can nick Verstappen's fastest lap. Alright, don't do that then, mate. Suit yourself. Anyway, focus. We care about Sargeant. Yeah, so those, they're all coming in behind us as well. So we've definitely done the right thing, I hope. Because this means we're not going to finish any worse than where we are. As long as we do a good stop and get out, we do. Excellent work, 2.6 seconds. So now we do need to really go this lap. Because if the front three do decide to jump, we need to make sure that... let's deploy as much as we can. We need to make sure that we are we're getting an overcut. So Verstappen's in. We can't do much about him. He's been absolutely rapid this race. Have we got someone behind us? Is Guan Yu Zhou trying to be cheeky? No. I thought it just went from 3rd to 4th there. Anyway. Are the front two going to stop? And if they don't, they are going to stop. Okay, so we're going to find ourselves, I think and hope, in 2nd place. They're in the pit lane now. We should be doing purple sectors. We've not only done a green sector. Battery is now empty.
Copy.
And here we go. Are they moving in the pit lane? They are moving in the pit lane, but I think at full speed down the straight, we should have enough. Oh, stop telling me stuff's going on, game. And we do indeed find ourselves in 2nd. In our home race. I don't know if we've ever got on the podium at COTA. We've never really had a good time here, have we? New fastest lap for Crawford, so take that, Verstappen. You've lost that one. And let's see if Sargeant... No, because I've gone a little bit early with him, I think, in terms of using his battery for fastest lap. but we've got Russell right behind us. So we do need to be a little bit careful here. It might even be a case of going off board for these final few laps and hoping that Sargeant has enough. Now, is DRS active? I'm assuming it probably is. New fastest lap for Sargeant. Is it going to be enough? Oh, no, not that one. This one. Is it going to be enough to keep Russell behind us? There's a decent-ish gap there, isn't there? There is a decent-ish gap. Let's use this to defend down the straight. Go back to neutral. Yeah, DRS is active. Verstappen has nicked the fastest lap back. Oh, Russell, don't you dare, mate. Don't you dare. It's going to be a very, very tightly fought thing, isn't it? If we can defend up into turn 1, then we're not going to have anything to defend ourselves with. If we can defend up here, then we should have we'll get more battery, and we should be able to get ourselves safely. There we go. So let's charge the battery a little bit. We should get a little bit more into the hairpin, and then we'll just deploy till the end of the race at that point. Crawford in 14th. That shouldn't go unnoticed. You know, he's done really, really well, I think. So let's deploy. And this is it. This is realistically the last place they can overtake. They're going to have DRS open. Have they got enough? Have they got enough? Verstappen has won, as he deserves to do. But we have held off George Russell down the back straight. And that should be enough now for Sargeant to come around and claim second in his home race. Here he goes. I don't see any chance for... No, he's too far back. He's too far back. So Logan Sargeant in his home race comes home second. What a race for Logan Sargeant. We do get ourselves one final podium. Hopefully we can go and get some more now. And we've got Jack Crawford from dead last, 2 spins. You know what? 14th could have been a lot worse for him. He's beaten a Ferrari. That's about it, to be honest. He's beaten Albon. I suppose that's something. Beaten K-Mag. Well done to you. But second for Sargeant. So in the end, it's Carlos Sainz that gets the point for fastest lap. But yeah, we had a little bit of a train behind us, but we were fairly comfortable, weren't we? It wasn't as though they were all over the back of us. You know what I mean? I felt like we could defend in the right places to make sure that worked out in our favour. So Verstappen goes back to the top of the championship. We go with Sargeant back ahead of Gasly into 4th. We close down a little bit the gap to Sainz. It's probably a little bit of a too big of a gap with 3 races to go. But Perez, no points there, has probably seen his challenge drop off, hasn't it? And Crawford still in 13th. If we could get the 12th ahead of Albon, that'd be something. But he's got to score points to do that. And that looks a big challenge for him right now, if I'm honest. And in terms of the constructors, if there was any doubt we were going to get caught from behind, I think that is now gone. 3 races to go. We're not realistically catching Alpine either. So that is kind of what it is. But guys, if you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. We will be back for the Mexican Grand Prix next. We've never really done well there, I don't think either, have we? But who knows? Who knows? Maybe we can get one more podium before the end of the series. Let's go for 4 more podiums. Let's go one at each one, and maybe we can get Crawford on there as well. Take care. That's not happening.